remember when you come on the show. I feel like it's fitting. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Week 3 fantasy review. I know with a hurricane in lieu going on outside right now that this was up in the air, but so far we really haven't lost power for more than 35 seconds. We knock on wood because probably halfway through this I will. But we're not like Fort Myers. We're not like Port Charlotte. We are not like those areas, Englewood. We're not like those areas at all where there's massive flooding, there's massive wind, and there's massive damage. We're chilling up here, the winds and things. I'll send a video to the group chat, but I'm good. We're all good here. But anyways, to get on to this week, since I've been doing these reviews, I mean, I won a championship, and then like I got cute. So last year I went 7-7, didn't make the playoffs. This year I'm 0-3, trending towards not making it. I've took chances the last couple years. I was years 8 and 9, but year 10 I got to get back to it with my White Women United. But you know, this year's been fun so far. Disappointing for me, but fun. But first game we're gonna put on the ledger is. Also, bear with me in case my internet decides not to load well. So we'll see what we got here. Hi.
Hi.
What's up?
I wasn't sure if you were using the Wi-Fi because it just went out.
Well, shit, we're gonna be. Well, thank you. No, you're good. I got a hotspot. Raindrops, drop top. I'm gonna be using my hotspot.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Okay, well, we got a hotspot, but as we go, internet's out. Yeah. So game 1. Go back to week 3. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, so week 1, we've got Joey edging out a victory over the only Joe DeZazzo. You're going to see how these lists work here in a moment. We're fluid. We don't have any discrimination towards anyone. We don't have any hate towards anyone. There's no bias, unbiased. It's really how I've objectively seen the players and objectively seen, and a little bit of my projection forward. So if you want to call it bias there, then sure, but these are my lists. If you want to make your own, guys, feel free. But we had a 119.7 to a 115.4 dub, so a real close one. And really, this showed kind of what's gonna show up in these here. I mean, you've got such a collective effort from Joey. Mahomes 21, Najee 10, Damian Harris 10. Mike Williams was the only person in Michael Thomas was the only person in Joey's lineup who didn't have plus 10. Everybody else had 10 or more, including kicker and defense. So it was just a collective effort from him. Joe on the other side didn't get much from Miles Sanders. Got nothing from David Montgomery because he got injured, but Khalil Herbert ended up putting up 28.9. So it wasn't like he played the wrong move. It was more so just the fact that his guy got injured. Or else he probably would have won this week. Or he would have definitely won this week. Yeah, Cooper Kupp having a solid game. He had a rushing touchdown, not a receiving touchdown, oddly enough. A.J. Brown had a good game. Tyler Higbee playing solid. Cordero Patterson doing his thing. Falcons defense that I thought would be better too, but didn't. And Brandon McMahon is solid. But on his bench, CD went off. You had the Broncos defense played well. You got Devin Singletary played well. Tyler Boyd played well. As I said, Khalil Herbert played well. So just top to bottom, his entire roster played a good game, and I can just add it. Just play well. You got two of the best teams in the league right there going at it. And then we got the 2-1. We got 2-1 Tyler Morey, who beat now 0-3 Camden. Camden's team that has so much talent in the world, which it's only week 3, so I'm still going to semi-reflect in this. Because there are teams in the NFL every single year that you look at and the roster-wise, they're talented, and you're like, wait, how are they 0-3. Like, no one thought Vegas right now going into the season would be 0-3, but they're 0-3. They've got all the talent in the world on offense, and they do got a pretty solid defense. No one thought the Bengals were going to be 1-2 at this point. They're like, wait, they have the Steelers and they have the Cowboys without Dak. Then they have the Jets. They should be 3-0. But, or the Rams, even though they're 2-1, they've had some. So it's those kind of things. And you'll see some teams that are 2-1 that are a little lower, and you're like, well, how are they 2-1? It's like, okay, well, the Broncos, they could literally be 0-3 right now, but they are 2-1. So the thing about them is, regardless if they should or should not be there, they're still there. So in the standings, that's how it's going to reflect too, or in the rankings, that's how it's going to reflect too. But Camden, quarterback issue. I mean, Jared Goff is probably his best quarterback on roster consistently right now, which is tough. But Jared Goff, the Lions' offense has actually been pretty good this season. So, but putting your faith in Jared Goff or Carson Wentz is a tough thing to do. Running backs, Jonathan Taylor has been weak since week 1. I think he should pick it up this week, though. Aaron Jones has been. I mean, he played Tampa, and they're stout against the run, and that was a weird game. He also fumbled right at the goal line. That's a 10-point swing there, because he would have had a few more yards and a touchdown. That's 6 and -2. So, well, really an 8-point swing there. So that he could have had a good day. Debo has Jimmy G and played a good defense. So Amon-Ra had a light Amon-Ra day for what he's been doing, because he's been cooking this year. Darren Waller didn't play well, but the whole entire Vegas team didn't play well at all. Then you got Derrick Henry finally coming back to lure so far, so hopefully he can continue that for you. 49ers defense doing what they did, and Jake Elliott. Other side, you got Tyler, you got Herbert, who was injured he's playing injured, so he didn't look good. They looked terrible. McCaffrey, who has been good for McCaffrey. I mean, he's the 12th ranked running back, so I mean, averages 12 points a game. That's good. If you have Zeke do that, then you're like, wow, that's great. And speaking of Zeke, he had 13.5. He finally got in the end zone, so that's good. Tyreek Hill didn't have a big day, but it's gonna be a Waddle week. It's gonna be a Hill week. You'll have some weeks where they both explode, but this week was just a Waddle week. He had over 100 yards. You got Cortland Sutton, who's going to be their number 1. He's definitely going to be the decaf to the Jerry Jeudy, Tyler Lockett. So you'll see Jerry Jeudy probably have bigger games, but you'll see Cortland Sutton have more consistent games. Yeah. So there's the power. Oh, goodness. What's up? Are you good? What? It's dark out there? Well, turn on your flashlight on your phone. Hey, let's go. We're back. I'm telling you, this review is going to be wild. I told you, there's really a hurricane going on, people. There's really a hurricane going on. Okay, let me get back to it. And then I want that one. Okay. Yeah, so anyways, I was talking about Tyreek Hill, talking about Cortland Sutton. Dallas Goedert had a good week, as he's going to have every week pretty much. Dameon Pierce showing up on the board. He had a good week this week as well. You got the Saints defense, who I don't really know what's going on with the Saints defense. They have a good defense, but their offense hinders their defense at times. That team's weird. And then Cade York, which, interesting. So it's Cade York. Going on to the next game, you've got Timmy, who beat up on Jared. By beat up, he literally won by 0.03 or by 0.3. And God's sake, Saquon had a good day. And speaking of, Saquon's been probably the best draft pick of the year so far with how he's playing. Him, Michael Thomas, and probably a couple others I'm forgetting that are in that ballpark. But he's playing amazing. Power outages in Florida top 1.6 million hurricane. No, nice still. Anyways, this, I know obviously when you watch it, it's going to be, you're going to see it. So whenever it's uploaded, it's not going to matter, but I'm going to say it anyways. This one may take longer to upload. So if you're seeing this is supposed to be on Thursday, or it's supposed to be like Wednesday night, but if it's Thursday or Friday, it's Thursday or Friday, and that's just that. Jalen Hurst has been one of the best QBs in the league this year, fantasy-wise, and really in the NFL. He's looking top 3 MVP, him, Allen, and Lamar, obviously, who's leading it. You got Austin Eckler, who, it's hard. He's that game That game was a weird game, so it's hard to put stock into that one. But this season, he hasn't been him. As I said, Saquon's been balling. Got Pittman, Mike Williams. You got Hawkinson, who had a solid game. Finally got a touchdown by solid game. He had 3 catches, 18 yards, and a touchdown. So hopefully he was touchdown dependent, but still solid. The Bengals defense, which did what it was supposed to do. And then Greg Joseph, who was in a weird game. Then on the other side, you've got Josh Allen, who's like always top 2 fantasy quarterback this year. You got Dalvin Cook, who had a solid game for sure. You had James Robinson, who's showing to be the lead back in that 2 set right now. We don't know what moving forward it will be, but for right now, the better runner in James Robinson seems to be getting more of the carries. Stephon Diggs had a light week. Even though he's been going off this year, he's been one of the best receivers. Terry McLaurin had a solid week. Zach Ertz, he's really touchdown dependent. He didn't get one, so he only had a 4.5 point game. Curtis Samuel playing 2 Washington Commanders is tough. Washington football team, Washington Redskin, Washington Commander hybrids are tough. But I mean, you had to with no Julio, Allen Robinson being a disappearing act, no Keenan Allen. So once you get that, you'll be able to solidify that flex for sure. Rams defense, which the Rams have been okay this year. I mean, they're another team that's 2-1, but been okay. Hey, 2-1? Yeah, they're 2-1, but been okay. And then Nick Folk, who might have a big week this week coming up, especially against Green Bay with a good defense there, but no Mac. You got this disgusting game, like Justin versus Austin, 75.8 to 74.5. Kyler didn't play up to his standards. DeAndre Swift obviously was injured during the game. He went into the game injured. He didn't play up to snuff. Clyde Edwards-Helaire did what he was supposed to do. Jamar Chase didn't, especially for them having 27 points and Burrow having a good game. Chase wasn't the guy, but that doesn't mean he's not going to be the guy this Thursday against Miami. Waddle had the solid game, as I was talking about. Logan Thomas, trying to find him. Tony Pollard had a good game. The Bills defense played solid against a really good Miami offense, and then Evan McPherson, good kicker. Kirk Cousins did what he was supposed to do. God, he didn't start Russell Wilson because Russell Wilson's buns. Russell Wilson sucks. Russell Wilson's not good. I don't know what happened to him. We need the old Russ. I don't really know what happened to the old Russ. Lenny was in a weird game, so that was not going to be... Ooh. Got it. Lenny was in a weird game, so that was kind of... 7 points, but I think moving forward he's going to be fine. Josh Jacobs did what he was supposed to do. Justin Jefferson. Hurricanes in Florida, but you think you're acting like you got caught in it in 10. Oh no, you were at home in Minnesota. I don't get hurricanes up in Minnesota, and it's not snow season. So where were you? 3 catches, 14 yards. I think. Where were you, bud? I'm still looking, Justin. You are going to arguably be the best receiver in football by the end of the season. You have the chance to do that. You got Cooper Kupp, you got Devontae Adams, you've got you got Jamar Chase, Stephon Diggs over in the corner. They're coming, but and Tyreek Hill, maybe another one I miss. I don't really care. But come on, Devontae Adams caught a touchdown. Then where do you go? We don't know. Gerald Everett had a bad game, but the Chargers had a bad game as it's how Dalton Schultz was out. You got A.J. Dillon. What are you doing, bud? The Packers defense, which played well, and then Tyler Bass, who didn't really have a great game. And then we have the blowout of the week, me versus Ira. What's going on with my team? We'll go to them last. Joe Burrow had a Joe Burrow game against the Jets, which you expect. I think he's going to get it back on track. The Dolphins have been not great against the pass. A lot of teams have been throwing on them because their offense has been putting up points. They've had to throw with them. So you could expect that again. Nick Chubb doing what Nick Chubb does. Antonio Gibson been over 10 every single week. Rashad Bateman this week was not the guy there. He's going to be semi-hit or miss. T. Higgins is always going to be solid. So he had a good week this week as well. Kyle Pitts finally coming back to life and showing he's not in the pit, not playing like sweaty armpit, actually good Kyle Pitts. You've got Jeff Wilson Jr., who played solid, especially he's going to in the absence of Elijah Mitchell. The Bucs defense, which played pretty solid. All things considered, especially after those first 2 drives where Green Bay just stormed down on them, and then they almost did it again, it caused a fumble, and then they played well from there. And then Matt Gay. I was going to say, even on the bench, Amari Cooper showed out. Chase Edmonds had a good game as well. I haven't been talking about everybody's bench. I probably could have been. Probably should have been. I mean, yeah, I could have talked about Drake London or Trevor Lawrence or Chris Olave. I really could have talked about everyone's bench, but I'll go through it again. Whatever. And then you got Derrick Carr for me. Played a good game. Derrick Carr was the only bright spot on my roster. And then we got Joe Mixon. Is that Joe DeZazzo? Is that Joe Wade? I don't know I don't know what he was mixing up, but it was not touchdowns and it was not yards. Alvin Kamara, Alvin and the Chipmunks, A on his shirt. What's going on there? But Christmas time is not here, so you can't get 6 touchdowns. So you got to play, but you got to play well before. Brandon Cooks doing the opposite of what his last name is. He's not cooking. Babe Davis, where are you? Travis Kelce, you're doing your thing. Travis Kelce, he just doesn't get talked about like that. His team, he's a different guy, even though he dropped a touchdown too. Not that it wasn't made a difference anyways. George Kittle, George Skittles, Candy. Oh, Chargers defense -6 against Jacksonville. I understand Jacksonville's a good offense, but -6. Bosa's injured reserve now, and then Justin Tucker doing what Justin Tucker does. Justin Tucker and Travis Kelce are just not allowed to be talked bad about, essentially. And then, I mean, Alexander Madison, Ramondre Stevenson, cool. But anyways, yeah, I have the worst team in the league. That's not even a question. My players are not coming up to play. I mean, we could get better. Joe Mixon and Alvin Kamara, if they do what they're supposed to do, our running back crew is one of the best. Got Gabe Davis and Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks was supposed to be the stable 8 to 10 guy. Gabe Davis was supposed to be the kind of guy who can kind of boom, but the floor was supposed to be at 7 because of the fact of how high-powered that offense was. Kittle hasn't played really much yet, so, I mean, we get D-Hop back soon. We'll have Alexander Madison to fill in for a little bit of time. We'll see how it goes. I'm willing to make trades with anybody, so. But we're going to go down to it. We're going to go down through the league. So that's the league breakdown for the week. We've got, on this paper now, 2. It's hard to see here. Okay, it's focusing, but it's maybe backwards too. I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna show you everything here, but I do have the records here as well, along with the points. As you see, Joe DeZazzo's won at 91.6 across the board. 97 at QB has Lamar Jackson, who's playing like the best QB in football, MVP right now. Running backs, he's got David Montgomery, Khalil Herbert. It's not too much of a drop-off. I mean, David Montgomery's better, but it's not too much of a drop-off when you have one injured. Miles Sanders is good. You got Cordero Patterson and Devin Singletary, who both can run and catch it. So you got that. At 96, you've got Cooper Kupp and A.J. Brown, and CeeDee Lamb as well. He messaged me saying, well, Cooper Kupp should instantly make my receiving core better than everybody else's just by himself. And I was like, well, no, you can be as good as everybody else. But you know what? If Cooper Kupp goes out there and gets 30 this week, then I will put you one ahead of everybody else. Have my word for it. You'll be at a 97 next week if that's the case. But he's on a 96. 86 at tight end. Tyler Higbee's solid. 88 at defense. You got the Broncos defense to switch out. And then you have Brandon McManus. The Broncos defense has been playing well this season. So, very well. I mean, wait, no, did I say 86? 88, sorry. Yeah, that 88. So he ends up at a 91.6. 2, you got Justin at a 91.2. I think with Justin's team, there's really, like, no holes. You got Kyler Murray, who obviously he can run, he can pass. You got DeAndre Swift, who is a big play game. Once he comes back healthy, you'll see. You see it obviously. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who's been able to catch the ball. They haven't ran with him as much, but hope like towards the middle to end of the season last year, they started to run a little bit more. They may do the same thing this year. Jamar Chase and Jalen Waddle, we know what they represent. So you've got that running back crew at a 90. You got the wide receiver crew, Justin, at a 96, especially when you have Mike Evans as well, who's now going to be, obviously, who's after the suspension. You've got an 85 at tight end. You got Logan Thomas and Dawson Knox. That might be even That could be lower. He could be at an 84, just because you have Dawson Knox, who's kind of unproven right now. Or not unproven, but inconsistent right now. And then you got the Bills defense, which is the best defense in fantasy. And then you got Evan McPherson, who is one of the best kickers in fantasy. Third, you've got your brother, Joey, at 90.8. He's got Mahomes, who's going to be one of boost. Mahomes, Allen, and Lamar are all 97s. You got Najee. So he's got a 87 at the running back core. He's got Najee, Damian Harris, and James Conner. James Conner, as we see, he's touchdown of us last year. He's not really producing at the rate he was this year. Damian Harris seems to be getting about a 55-45 split in the backfield, but he is the red zone guy. And then you got Najee Harris as well, who has been balling. I'm kidding. He's been playing all right. He had a solid game last week, but he's been honestly. He's 21st, but like he's been all right. It's literally the Steelers offense doesn't really move the ball that much. But Joey has an 88 at receivers with Michael Thomas showing up. But with Michael Thomas showing up, Marquise Brown showing up, how long this is going to last with Marquise Brown, we'll see, because Greg Dortch has been playing very well too. So when DeAndre comes back, it's not just going to be like Marquise Brown's not going to be there at all. Marquise Brown might actually do just as good. If not, he could even do a little bit better, depending, because he's not getting number one looks. Then he's got Mark Andrews, who's been playing like, arguably the best tight end in football. Obviously, it's him and Kelsey. And then you've got the Eagles defense and Dan Carlson. So I got that at an 88 there. Oh, God. Then we go down to Tyler Lamore. Where's Listen Relax? Guys, again, bear with me. It just takes a little bit. Mom. Hi, Mom. I will call you back in like 20 minutes. You've been blowing me up. I will call you back. You got Herbert, I got at a 95. There's nothing really bad to say about him. He's just got a rib injury. Like, that's not like he's got a rib injury. He's going to be fine. You got the running back court at an 89. And the reason, like, Dameon Pierce, can we believe in it? Zeke, can we believe in it? Like, Zeke's been solid. Like, he's been okay. But can you, like, believe in it? And then Christian McCaffrey, can you get back to being what you are? And if that's the case, that running back crew can go up. Anything of this list is, again, it's fluid. It can go up or it can go down. You got Tyreek Hill, you got Cortland Sutton, you got Devontae Smith, you got Jarvis Landry, you got Hunter Renfrow when healthy. So, like, that works to even Crow's a 93. You've got a 90 because you got Dallas Goedert. He's really one of the most consistent non-top two tight ends in the league. Then you got an 87 defense. You got the Saints, and you got Cade York. You've got next on it Camden at 90.8. People were probably thinking to themselves, because you got Joe at 2-1, number one. You got Justin 3-0. He's number two. Joey and Tyler 3-4 respectively at 2-1, and you got Camden at 0-3. But, like, if we're being objective about his roster, I put 87 at QB because no one's below. Like, that's the worst out of all of them. So 87 is the worst. You got Jonathan Taylor. You got Derrick Henry. You got Aaron Jones. You've got Amon-Ra. You've got Debo. You've got Darren Waller. You've got the 49ers defense, Graham Gano. But on your bench, you also have Jerry Jeudy. You have Melvin Gordon. You have Michael Carter. You have Darnell Mooney. You have Jamal Williams. This roster is perfectly fine. It's literally, he just needs, a better quarterback would suffice. Would definitely suffice, but, like, this roster is fine. It's just he's came up short in a few games. Like, his team just hasn't performed. Again, that was you can be the Vegas Raiders. You can be the Bengals, a team that's definitely more talented. Would anyone say, I'm not saying that the Broncos are better than the Bengals right now with the way they're. I mean, the Bengals offensive line has been a problem. The Broncos team has been a problem. No one's saying the Giants or the Cowboys are better than the Bengals. I mean, if they are, then weird. I understand the Cowboys beat them, but that doesn't mean you're instantly better than them. So that's like, yeah. Anyways. Then we got number 6, we've got Ira at 90.6. I like Ira's roster. You've got a 94 You got 94 QB with Joe Burrow. You got 92 at running back. You got Nick Chubb. You got Antonio Gibson. You've got Jeff Wilson Jr. You got an 86 at wide receiver. You got T. Higgins. You've got Amari Cooper. You've got DJ Moore, who's only had 7 catches on the year, but he could break out this week against the Cardinals. You got Brandon Ayuk. 90 at tight end, and Kyle Pitts. And then you've got the Buccaneers defense, which has been one of the best, if not the best, in the league this year with Nat Gay. So 7, you've got Austin. That was the biggest drop of the week, but points-wise, he only went down like 0.4. It's really been his quarterbacks with Kirk Cousins and Russell Wilson. You see that, and you're like, eh. His running backs, I think, took 1 tick back, but his tight end went up a tick. I can't remember exactly how I had it last week, but running back crew's a 90. It's A.J. Dillon, Josh Jacobs, Leonard Fournette. Leonard Fournette, if he can get back to being that consistent 13 to 13 plus a week, got Josh Jacobs really staying at that 10, and then A.J. Dillon staying at that 10, that's going to really have the consistency there. Wide receiving core 90. I understand what Justin Jefferson and Devontae have been and have not been at times, but they're Devontae Adams and Justin Jefferson. Would anyone call them out of the top 3 in real wide receiving? Maybe top 4 if you want to go there, but fine. You've got Gerald Everett and you've got Dalton Schultz, which is, to me, the same level as a Dallas Goedert, because Gerald Everett's been playing very well this season, and Dalton Schultz is a very good target there. And you got the Packers defense, Tyler Bass. I got that at an 88. Timmy, you're at a 90. Timmy probably always feels disrespected by me, even though I don't disrespect you, Timmy, at all. I respect you as a fantasy guy. You got a 96 at quarterback. I'm still, regardless of how they're playing, I'm still not disrespecting your running back crew. They're a 94. You've got Austin Eckler, Javonte, and Saquon. Obviously, Saquon's putting that high. But Austin Eckler and Javonte have not been playing to what you expected, but still I'm not disrespecting that. You got Michael Pittman and Mike Williams. Michael Pittman is a good, consistent receiver. Mike Williams, we know, up and down. We'll see how he can stay with Keenan Allen, if he can progress still. Christian Kirk, who's been playing very well. Is it lightning in a bottle? I don't think it. I think he's actually playing well. So, but you got that. So that puts you at an 88. 85 at tight end. TJ Hawkinson, not great. He looks like he's gonna be touchdown dependent. And then you got an 87 in your alternating defense and Young Hoku. So it really do. I mean, it's hard to judge your defenses because of the fact you have kind of like a baseline, because you kind of pick the best defense, but the best defense might not have a great week every week that's in free agency. So we'll see. But that puts you at a 90. Again, they're showing more of a discrepancy between the top and the bottom. Like Joe's a 91.6. Oh, Jared's also 90, but I'm an 88.4 because I think I suck. But Joe's a 91.6. Jared's a 90. Jared's 9 out of 90, which is weird because we didn't have. Everyone's been getting kind of better in places, or getting worse in places. But Jared's definitely a team that's becoming more consistent with Dalvin Cook playing a little better now. You got James Robinson, who seems like he's established himself as a lead back. You've got yourself Curtis Samuel and Terry McLaurin, which one of those two seems to be hitting pretty much every week for the Commanders because they don't know how to lead, so they always play from behind. You got Stephon Diggs, who may end as a top 2 receiver in fantasy this year, especially with the way Allen's slinging it. You've got Keenan Allen still coming off the bench with Julio Jones. Then you got the Rams defense and Nick Folk. That's 9, and then me. At 10. Danny. Hold on. You good? Jeez, because it was moving this door and it was making it seem like Jesus. Are you good?
Yeah, interrupting.
You're not interrupting at all. I'm making sure you're okay.
Yeah, I can close the door.
Okay.
I was literally standing there, I'm like, ugh.
Okay. I was so concerned for half a second. Oh, goodness. Thought I had someone who broke into my freaking home. Anyways. Glad I'm not cutting the camera off. You guys just get to witness all that. Then 10, you got me. We got Tom Brady and Derrick Carr. I think Tom Brady, once he gets more weapons back, will start to pick it up. Derrick Carr, fine. Quarterback, I'm not worried about. Running backs, still holding out hope. It's Joe Mixon, Alvin Kamara. We're going to hold out hope. Wide receivers, once DeAndre Hopkins get back, I hope we have a number 1, and then we have a number 2 that we can substitute out. Then we, as a tight ends, we got Travis Kelce, George Kittle. George Kittle, I'm hoping, can become and get back to what George Kittle is with Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm hoping that seems to be the case. And then the Chargers defense, which I had the Colts, but they were also playing like buns too. So I'm not trying to find. I can't find a defense, but I have the best kicker of all time ever. So yeah, that's the review for the week. I put some time into this. I hope it's not terrible. I hope that the whole chaos of everything doesn't bother people. Yeah, I'm staying safe. We're all good here this week. It's pretty much a do or die week for me. I need a dub. Like, I need it. I get to play 3-0, second best team in the league, in my opinion, Justin. So, go us. Then we got Tyler versus Timmy. That one's going to be an interesting one. Timmy gets to 3-1. We can see if he can start to even creep up this list, which he's at 8, but the difference between him at 8 and 3 is 0.8 points, which if you're doing it, it's literally 4 points across. So it'd be like if Timmy went to an 89 at wide receiver, 86 at tight end, 88 at kicker, and a 95 at running back, which could all happen, he would be a 90.8 and he would be at 3. So that's the difference between everybody. It's not like it's huge. And then you've got Austin. Can he in his roster that looks nice for sure? Can he get some quarterback play out of Kirk Cousins? Can he play Joey, who's also one of the best rosters in this league? You got 2-1 Jared playing 1-2 Ira. Can Ira get to 500? That'll be interesting to see. Can Jared also be one of that like Timmy, keep creeping up? They keep creeping up points wise, and see if he creeps up that list too. You've got top-rated Joe against 5th-rated Camden. Camden and I are in must-win weeks. Camden's projected for 118. That just shows it's like he's projected for 118. Like, it just shows what Camden's doing. But hopefully this gets up when I want it to. If not, it doesn't. And yeah. So this was the fantasy review. Hurricane safe.